finger distance between the eyepiece and the smartphones. So it's very important that you keep 1 finger distance between the smartphone and the slit lamp eyepiece, and you get a proper round, and that is where you actually get the proper focus of the smartphone imaging in the slit lamp. The second method is adapter guided slit lamp smartphone photography, where we use a smartphone adapter. This is a smartphone adapter that you can buy from Amazon. So this is just for 500 rupees you'll get in Amazon, and you have to fix the smartphone onto this adapter, and then attach this particular adapter on top of the slit lamp eyepiece. Again, you keep the smartphone and the eyepiece at least 1 finger gap. You have to leave a 1 finger gap between the smartphone and the eyepiece, and that is when you can actually get the proper focus of the eyepiece, and then you can take the images. As you can see, once you attach the smartphone to the adapter, you attach the adapter on top of the eyepiece, leaving a small gap in between, and then you can be very hands free, and it very easy. You just need to slowly adjust so that you get the whole proper circle things. You can see how here now how easily you can get the circle, and then whatever you see from the slit lamp you can actually record in your smartphone. So this you can see how 90D fundus imaging also can be taken with this adapter. So this adapter I can share you the link later on, that you can buy from Amazon. The next one is anti-segment photography with intraocular lens. This particularly is a method where you don't really require a slit lamp at all. You can just use a intraocular lens. So what we do is you use a chart paper. Basically, you can use a black chart paper to reduce the reflection. This was the first time we did, so that was a white chart paper. And you can cut it into 10 centimeter into 1.5 centimeter strip. So this strip can be then folded on each other, and you have to mark a small area where you are going to fit the intraocular lens. So this is the area where the intraocular lens will come, and this is where we are going to punch the paper with a paper puncher. So before that, we use a double-sided tape. It's like a cello tape, but it has sticky side in both the sides. So you attach that one first, and then take the paper puncher and make a small hole. So once you have done this hole, that is the place where the intraocular lens is going to be fit. Okay, so once that is done, you remove the second, the other side of the tape, sticky tape. So once you have removed that, this is also sticky side of the tape. So it's a double-sided tape, and you keep a intraocular lens of 15 to 20 diopter. PMMA rigid IOLs are the best. 15 to 20 diopter, you keep it inside and just close it, so it is going to be stuck forever. And then once that is done, you just have to keep this particular strip of intraocular lens, that's the ASP, on the smartphone's primary camera. Once you on the video mode and on the flashlight also, you can take images of the anti-segment. So you can use this on any of your smartphones, and then once you have kept it in the video mode with the flash on, you can actually start taking images without a slit lamp, as good as a slit lamp. So this is a video taken from ASP without a slit lamp, but the only problem here is you'll be getting a diffuse light. You won't get a slit image. And you can take, these are all the few images that we have taken from the ASP: iris mask, giant papillae, NVGs, corneal nerves, keratoplasty sutures, blue dot cataract with PSC, occlusio pupillae, pupillary membrane, hypopyon. Few other images: ACIOL, posterior capsular rent, caterpillar hair, corneal foreign body, OSSN, and white hot spot. So you can even take videos. So you can take a video over here. You can see how phacodonosis with vitreous blob and the iridodonosis can be seen very clearly in this video. So going to the next thing, that was we did a 3D printed ASP also. It's like an adapter which can be fixed to the smartphone. So you don't really have to make your own ASPE. If you want to make, you can make. Otherwise, you can get this one. This is a 3D printed adapter that can be fit onto the phone. So once you fit it, and then you can use this as like we showed you. It is just basically an ASPE, but it's a adapter which can be fixed on the go. And these are all the images taken with this particular device. These are all the few other images that were taken. So the next idea was it was diffuse light that we were using in ASPE. So we thought, why not make a slit scope also? So this was basically to address the fact that we didn't have a slit. So we thought, why not make a slit? Oh, sorry. So we had the magnification and the imaging device. The only thing which was remaining was the slit illumination. So we opened up a slit lamp and saw the paths, and then we tried replicating by using chart paper. We made a slit over here. We attached this particular arrangement on a pen torch, and then we added a 23 diopter IOL, and then we got a slit. So this was the first slit that we made using the slit adapter that was 3D printed. Sorry, that was not 3D printed. That was made using raw materials like sketch pens and chart paper. So then we thought, why not make a proper 3D printed adapter? So we came up with an idea where 3D printed adapters were made with the same concept, where you can keep a circular, square, or slit of different shapes and sizes, and it costed only 350 rupees for per adapter. And these were all the images and videos that we could take using ASPE and slit scope together. So you get a slit also, and you can get record it with your phone also. And these were all the images, videos taken without a slit lamp, but it gives you the same quality of the slit lamp. So this over here you can see corneal scar with the pseudophakic IOL, blue dot cataract and sutural cataract, brown cataract and mature cataract. So these are all images taken without a slit lamp, but with the ASPE and the slit scope. So this is anti-segment imaging. So we thought, why not go to the next step, that was to take gonio images also. So for gonio images, like we said, the ASPE we use 15 to 20 diopters. Over here we use 10 diopters, 8 diopters or 6 diopters. And you can just keep the gonio lens on the eye and then take the same video mode, and you can start taking images of the gonio angle structures. Over here you can see how beautifully the images of the angles are visible. And then we thought, why not do even cobalt blue photography? So this same ASPE device, we added one cobalt blue filter acrylic sheet. So now what happens is that it goes and fits onto the smartphone flashlight, and you can actually start taking images of cobalt blue images also. This is a CDILS positive video that was taken with the Scooby-Doo. So next, what we thought was, why not use the same concept and add 4 30 diopter lens one upon the other. So we used 30 diopter IOLs, 4 of them one upon the other, and we used Fevicol liquid adhesive to attach all these IOLs one upon the other. So we have an addition of around 120 diopter total, and this was then attached to the smartphone. And once you have done that, you can keep your sample on a torch light so that you get illumination from below. And then with the video mode, you can again take images of your microscopy. So basically it becomes your own pocket friendly microscope. So you don't really require a microscope, you just need IOLs to add to your smartphone, and then it becomes your microscope. And you can see fungus, you can see parasitic larvae, you can see caterpillar hair, you can also see pathology slides even. So even pathology slides can be visualized using IOL scope. So this was the IOL scope. So we thought, why not go to the next level, that is of adding it to the slit lamp. So before that, we also had an experiment where we went to the operation theater and we took a sample of uh, rhizopus fungus from the paranasal sinuses, and we got over here, we got the hyphae over here, which can be seen very clearly. So it was a basically live demonstration of fungal hyphae during a surgery to check for the fungal infestation. So here again what we thought is, why not use this particular concept and attach it to this slit lamp. So we attach the adapter to the slit lamp, and we use the IOL scope onto the slit lamp. So what happens is, it becomes very easy for a corneal specialist to actually check for fungal hyphae in corneal ulcer cases. So we have a small demonstration of the same, where a corneal ulcer was debrided, and we took the sample on a sample slide, and then as a point of care diagnostic, we were able to take images of the fungal hyphae right at the slit lamp itself. The next smartphone imaging we were done was with gimbal scope. That is basically a retinoscopic device that we did. It actually, what we do is, we connect the smartphone on top of the retinoscope, and then you will be able to directly visualize live shadows of retinoscopy reflex. So this is a small arrangement that we have done using the adapters itself, and you can see how clearly you can see the with movement reflex. This is the with movement reflex. Over here you can see against the movement reflex. Also we have this is neutralization. So it becomes very easy for anybody to teach their mentees, and they understand what these reflexes are much easier. So this was the retinoscopy reflex that were taken from smartphone. And then we have the posterior segment imaging device. So basically this is using a sanitizer bottle that has been cut in a particular manner, having flaps which you can keep a 20D lens into. And this particular sanitizer bottle becomes a photography device for posterior segment. So these were all the images that were taken from this particular hand sanitizer device called Trash to Treasure RedCam. So a upgraded version of this was the Retigo, because this was very big and huge. So we took inspiration from this particular keychain. So this is basically a T keychain which gets opened up into a cup. So where you can put tea or water or whatever, and it doesn't leak. So it is leak proof. So we use the same concept, to actually shrink the RedCam, and this was basically the Retigo RedCam, where you can see the same concept of the keychain was put here. It opens up like a telescope, and you attach the smartphone to this, and then you can take images. Another version of foldable fundoscope will be shown by Dr. John also. So this is basically for posterior segment smartphone imaging. You can also do freehand imaging. If your hands are very stable, you can actually take the smartphone and use the 20D without the usage of these kind of instruments also. So these are all the, and this is the only way, a smartphone posterior segment is the only way you can actually take video images. I mean, like videos. You cannot take any video in other, expensive fundus cameras. So you can see a vitreous cyst, how beautifully you can see the vitreous cyst moving in the video. So this is the posterior segment. Thank you everybody, and if there is anything, you can contact me as well. This is my contact. Thank you. So next I'll request Dr. John to come here and talk on 3D printing.
Thank you, Dr. Prithvi. That was a brilliant take on all his frugal innovations. All of you can go back and start using these innovations in your OPs. So these are all very inexpensive. There is nothing much to spend on making these. So there is no excuse for you. You have to start making it as soon as you get back. I'm waiting for the PowerPoint to load. Yeah. So, any questions about smartphone ophthalmology or anything? And who is using smartphones for taking anterior segment photos? Raise your hands. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Somebody is raising 2 hands. 4. That's all? Okay, so all of you should go back and start using this. Okay, now 3D printing. 3D printing may be a little more difficult to start using, but let's try. Let me try to inspire you to do that. Financial interest, I do some 3D printing. I have made a smartphone fundus camera called Jondas Foldable Fundascope and many other designs. So many of the designs I put for free on these websites. So NIH 3D, Government of USA NIH 3D website allows you to share 3D design. So I have shared some of my 3D designs there, including the glaucoma drainage device, CTR, BHEX ring, all those things. So you can download it from there. And firstly, who has some idea about 3D printing? What is 3D printing? Anybody has used 3D printing? Dr. Sinumol has used 3D printing. No? Okay. So I thought some innovators will love 3D printing. So get started on 3D printing. It is a process of manufacturing objects from a 3D model in the computer. You just give the soft copy, the 3D model to the device. It will melt the plastic and make the thing for you. So you can draw the 3D model, you can ask it to make the device, you test it out, it doesn't work, you do it again. So you first do the designing using CAD. So now that there are lots of AI softwares available, AI can design it for you. If you want to learn to design CAD, you could learn 3D modeling, 3D designing from YouTube. That's what I did. You can do that. If you have, it's little difficult for you to do the 3D designing yourself, you can ask AI to draw a 3D model for you. And once the 3D model is done, you can just, if you buy a 3D printer, you can do it yourself, or you can just pick up your phone, search on Google Maps, 3D printer near me, send the soft copy to them, they will print it for you, make it for you. Okay, so anybody who wants to do 3D printing, you don't even have to buy a 3D printer. If you want to buy a 3D printer, it's only 15,000 rupees. The 3D printer is only 15,000 rupees. So you can buy that, less than a smartphone. You can buy that and you can start doing all this. You can do jewelry design also. You can do all sorts of gifts. You can do all the 3D models which are available online. Very many materials can be used. Most of these are plastic. PLA is polylactic acid. ABS is a much stronger plastic. You can also use nylon. There are some flexible materials. You can, some other 3D printers can use titanium, etc. So titanium 3D printers are much more expensive, not 15,000 rupees. 15,000 rupees you can do plastic and resin. Okay. And yes, you have different types of 3D printing. This is boring, so I'll skip this part. So you need to just know that the most easily accessible ones are the FDM 3D printers and the and the resin 3D printers, SLA 3D printers, and lots of applications in industry automation. There are even 3D printed rocket engines. There are 3D printed houses. It's just a matter of the level of technology on the machine. Okay, and these are all the industries which use 3D print. A lot of industries. In ophthalmology, we'll come to it. Education, all these models can be made. Architects, everybody is using 3D printing. Construction, IIT Madras did 3D printed house. So you just design the house in your computer and then say, oh, I want one here in Chennai, I want one in Thrissur, I want one here. Just 3D print, 3D print, 3D print. Okay. Madam is looking at the next design for the house. So lots of things outside ophthalm, dental, medical, etc. Now we'll go to, okay, I'll skip this. Yeah. I use some fonts which are not available on this computer, so it's asking to download those fonts. So can we skip all that? Skip the font download. So in ophthalmology, there are lots of applications for 3D printing. The most commonly seen ones are the 3D printed instruments, so surgical instruments, etc. I think we have to skip a lot of fonts. Okay, so I'll go back a few slides. Yeah. So in ophthalmology, we'll come to ophthalmology. First, cornea to lens to retina, accessories, so many things are there where 3D printing is being used in ophthalmology. I would say there are some instruments, some slit lamp adapters, all these things are there in KJO. You can make a 3D printed dry lab. You can use 3D printed eyeball models to practice eye examination, for practicing lasers, practicing surgical techniques. All these things can be practiced on 3D printed labs. So these are models made in Arvind Pondicherry. Even this holder for the eyeball here, that was 3D printed in Arvind Pondicherry. These designs were made by Dr. Rajesh Vedachalam in Arvind Pondicherry. And if you look closely here, this part of the sclera is a flexible material, so you can practice indentation. Okay, so that can also be done. Yeah, that is the flexible model that is 3D printed. Okay, the material is called TPU, 3D printed adapter for surgical video recording, even for slit lamp recording. 3D printed fundus camera, 3D printed fundus camera again. This is again available open source. And this is that one. This is the 3D printed fundus camera in the real world. This was done in this we printed in Arvind Pondicherry for Arvind Pondicherry's hospital day. So all these are available online. You can download and print. Okay, and this is another adapter for fundus photography. Then these are some wet lab surgical models. This is available commercially. So Oculo is selling these 3D printed eyeball models. This is from this is from Prashant Girish, again Arvind Pondicherry, 3D printed eyeball model for surgical practice. Dr. Rajesh did one for examination. This is Dr. Rajesh's model. These are some of the models which I have done. BHEX ring, RD glaucoma drainage valve. These are available in Thingiverse as well as the NIH website. You can download it and 3D print them. And these 3D models which you can see here, these are put in PowerPoint so they can move around in 3D. So that is again done with 3D designing software, FreeCAD. These are all the resin 3D printed stuff. And all these can be made very easily. You can just download the file from the site which I gave, ask a 3D printing shop near you to print it. They'll probably charge 200, 300 rupees for one model. Okay. And this is a 3D printed punctal plug. This was done with the help of MBBS students in Ramachandra Medical College. They were in ophthalmology posting. I told them about 3D printing. They said they want to do a project. I asked them to pick a project, and this is what they picked. Let's design a punctal plug. And they designed a punctal plug, and we 3D printed it in the dental lab there. So another point, dental labs have 3D printers. So if you don't find a 3D printing shop, go to a dental lab and ask them, can I borrow your 3D printer? This is a 3D printed glaucoma drainage device. I wanted to start doing glaucoma drainage device surgeries. 3D printed this, started practicing on animal eyes. So this is a video of how I started. I designed it and 3D printed it. Again in Ramchandra Medical College. This is for contact lens fitting. Again a model to teach optometrists how to get the correct fluorescent staining pattern. And this is from Prasanna Venkatesh, 3D printed vascular architecture. This is the actual 3D printed one. The previous one was a 3D model. And yes, these are all the 3D printed models which he has done, which are also available in augmented reality. All these 3D models can be used for both. Bunch of 3D printed fundus cameras, and this one over here, C3 MedTech, went on Shark Tank. They tried to they were not successful in the IPO, but they made a 3D printed fundus camera and put it for Shark Tank India, not for Shark Tank AIOS, Shark Tank India. This is the foldable fundus camera. I found a problem statement that the smartphone fundus cameras were too big. So I made it foldable, made it fit into the pocket, and called it the foldable fundoscope. Designed it in 3D after learning 3D modeling from YouTube. This is FreeCAD, free software for doing CAD. And with that, I developed this model. And yes, this is the 3D printed version. And yes, this is the 3D printed fundus camera. There are also 3D printing available for orbital dissection and oculoplasty, so orbit models, all these things. I think oculoplasty, OPI is having a 3D printing session in their Kochi meeting in June, I think. So all these are available. You could even 3D print an OCT. Why? Just because. Or you can 3D print it and show the patient this is what your OCT looks like. This is what epiretinal membrane looks like. That is the problem. Okay, and you could design 3D printed surgical instruments to do the iteration of design. You do the design, 3D printed, test it out, see what works, what doesn't, change it. 3D printed trocar cannula system. Again, once you get the model right, then you can make it in metal. This is Canabrava's ring. He also designed it in 3D printing first before he finalized it. And this can be used for fractures, for orbital implants, so many orbital implants, teaching tools. We saw a few prosthetic eyes. So all these things are available right now, including 3D printing transparent materials as lenses. That is also available. LuxExcel is doing that. Why? Just because it's possible. And spectacles, opaque, very easy to do. Different shape of face, doesn't matter. You can design it and 3D print. Somebody wants a designer spectacle with their name sculpted on it, you can do that. So maybe that is the future. 3D printed puzzles for blind children. So this has FISH in braille on it. So this is from LV Prasad Eye Institute. 3D printed lens. We saw that it's possible from LuxExcel, and it is quite transparent, not as transparent as pure glass. And bioprinting is where you 3D print biological structures, including transparent structures such as cornea. So skin and opaque substances, very easy to print. Not very easy, but easier to print. Cornea transparent structure can also be 3D printed. Okay, so that is available in India right now. LB Prasad is using it. Some other hospitals are also doing trials. They are waiting for the right time to get into human. They had started human trials actually. They are waiting for the right time to get it into regular commercial availability. So yes, this is all about 3D printing cornea, and then 3D printing of retina is also coming. Not yet there yet, but it is possible. They are able to put the cells in the right place. Not able to make them function yet, but it will come. 3D print eye drop helper, eyeball, all these things you saw again. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. John, for having us show what is possible with 3D printing. I would like Dr. Shishir to talk on AI in ophthalmology. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Prithvi, for the kind invitation, and KSOS for this opportunity. So after two power-packed presentations, now let's jump into AI. So my presentation will just briefly introduce you to the AI which is upcoming and in a field of ophthalmology. So what exactly is AI? It is nothing but artificial intelligence technology that enables machines and computers to do or think the way we think and help solve the problem how we think that it can be solved. So you have the basics like machine learning, which have algorithms which enable learning from the data. You have neural networks, like how our brain is wired. Similarly, the computers are wired to each other to do complex tasks. And then it does the language processing. Whatever you speak, it processes the language, and then you can apply it onto your real world. So we use AI unknowingly in our daily life, be it a taxi booking app, be voice assistant like Siri, Alexa, image recognition with Google Lens, our streaming apps, Netflix, even navigation and travel. All of this, we are using AI in our daily lives too. So how does AI help in ophthalmology? So anything which has images. Now ophthalmology is full of images, right from the orbit, the adnexa to anterior and to the posterior segment too. So anything which has images, the AI can look at those images and provide a conclusion. So with the anterior segment photography, fundus photography, OCTs, and even high resolution digital images can go through the AI, and then it can provide a diagnosis and increase our ocular care, especially in low cost or low areas. So lot of images on big data like the slit lamp photographs, retinal fundus photograph, OCTs, FFAs, ASOCTs. You put it and feed it into the AI, and then it can provide a diagnosis or probable diagnosis of what it can be. Similarly with B scan, corneal topography, the IOP values, even refraction and spectacle power, and even visual fields too. So if you go to the look at the FDA approved AI incorporated medical devices, there are a few on the list. In ophthalmology, there are, I think, there are total about 300 devices, but in ophthalmology, I think there are about 10 to 15 devices which are FDA approved. And when you go to this website, you can see which all are the imaging devices which are FDA approved. Not all of them are in India, only few of them are there. So for retinal diseases, so AI provides, sometimes an accurate diagnosis and identification. It does not tell you to the treatment, but it does provide a diagnosis. And when you go to these underserved areas, it's affordable. You can use AI for an affordable screening and efficient detection of even small retinal changes. The AI helps you to detect, and you can screen, for example, DR screening AI is coming up in a big way in DR, diabetic retinopathy screening, and you can use AI for such a large population screening where it will even pick up subtle changes in your retina. So this is the example of this was one of the first machines, the IDX DR. So here we have fed in a fundus photograph to the AI. So this fundus photograph is showing an epiretinal membrane, and then that's the diagnosis what is shown on the AI. So it says most likelihood 99.5% that this is an epiretinal membrane which is seen on this fundus photo. So similarly, so the IDXDR was first approved in 2018. It's one of the first AI models which when you feed the fundus photograph, it will tell you the probable diagnosis. So here in this patient with moderate NPDR, you can see these hard exudates. When it's fed into the IDXDR, it showed that there's a vision threatening diabetic retinopathy. So similarly, other AI platforms we have online like this Orbis cyber site, which is there, and they also have come up with the AI, tools, and it's free for the low developing countries, but then it's very expensive otherwise. You feed the images onto the AI, and then it tells you the probable, the diagnosis. So similarly, there is AI for corneal diseases, which can distinguish infections and identify the pathogens. So it's helpful again in rapid diagnosis to provide like a differential diagnosis, and also it helps in detecting multiple conditions. So this is the Cornea AI app where you can see that they're fed in this picture of a corneal ulcer, and then it says that it's probably an infectious keratitis, and the causative pathogen is like an acanthamoeba. So high probability that's an acanthamoeba, a very low probability that is bacteria, and fungal is almost negligible, and it's like an infectious keratitis. So similarly, they have used this Cornea AI to see how correct it is. So they have used these journal images, fed it into the AI, and now it's in this Cornea AI saying that this first picture is probably an infection, 93.90%, a scar, very unlikely, a bullous bullous corneal disease like bullous keratopathy is only 0.5%. So similarly, these are the ones where they were able to identify it correctly, the Cornea AI. And some of these dystrophies, the Cornea AI was not able to identify correctly, like deposits, tumors, these deposits or even these corneal dystrophies, they are not able to identify it correctly. They were saying that it's like probably a scar or like a lens opacity, etc. So it does tend to misclassify too. So there are AI coming in other diseases too, like glaucoma, ROP. It predicts from early detection to even advanced staging, patients with AMD and also keratoconus. So AI also is there in pediatric ophthalmology, strabismus detection, refractive error screening, and reading, disability risk evaluation, and also amblyopia detection. So it's also coming in ophthalmic surgery in a big way, especially robotic surgery. Now we saw the latest videos which came in robotic cataract surgery. So AI has been incorporated in that, as well as in LASIK, also in AI-assisted retinal vein cannulation, where you reduce the hand tremors. So it's coming up in a big way in ophthalmic surgery too. So what about AI and preoperative safety? So here AI was incorporated in a mobile camera and was used to capture the image of these lenses. So when you have a patient list and you have a list of lenses which have been, for the particular patient, the AI recognizes and verifies the accuracy of these parameters. So it will show you a green that these are the correct stack of lenses which you have kept for those particular patients. So smartphone imaging and AI too coming up in a big way, but it's kind of, as of now, it's primarily used only for triage. Like you can screen in a peripheral center and then it will tell you whether to refer or not. So for example, if it's a keratitis, it will say it's urgent referral, semi-urgent, or if it's a routine, corneal scar, corneal deposit, or if it's normal, it will just ask you to observe. So it's coming in a big way in smartphone AI too. So let's see in your OPD, let's see what the practical use of AI, what you can do. So this is one of the AIs, which is Perplexity Pro. So here I had a doubt what the diagnosis was, so I entered it. 59-year-old presented with sudden painless decreased vision, and I told that the fundus showed pallor, whitening. What is the likely diagnosis? You feed it into this Perplexity AI, and it tells you that this is probably a classic, central retinal artery occlusion. So any doubt like that in your OPD, which you feel, feed it into your Chat GPT or a Perplexity, and it will tell you what could be the likely diagnosis, or it will give you a list of differentials. So we saw AI tools coming in patient care. Now I'll talk a little bit about research and medical education too, where you can use AI. So for research, you can use these multiple tools for research and proposal writing: ChatGPT, Gemini, Copilot, DeepSeek, Mistral. This is Claude, this is Quen, this is Perplexity, and then the final one, which is Grok. So this is another AI, which is the Notebook LM, free to use, and it's a very good research tool, and it has a least amount of hallucinations. So what hallucinations mean, sometimes the AI cooks up some things, like if you ask how many about some references, if the AI gives you 15 references in ChatGPT, the 5 of them will be mostly cooked up. It'll just imagine which don't exist at all. So this is one tool which gives you the least amount of hallucinations, like it will be 99% accurate most of the time. So for those who are doing statistical analysis, this is Julius AI. You feed in your statistics, it's paid, it's not free of cost. This will give you you can analyze your data and get the statistics done with Julius AI. So let's see how you can read an article. Now, do you really want to read this article? There's around 10 pages. So that's the article I got on retinal vein occlusion. I just go to Perplexity and I load that article, retinal imaging, retinal vein occlusion article. I just load into this AI and I just type there saying, summarize this article for me, and also tell me specifically what is the management of branch vein occlusion. So the AI reads the whole thing and it tells me the whole summary, and it also tells me the briefly on the management of the branch vein occlusion separately. So I really don't need to go in and read the whole article. So that is one use of AI which I do for my literature review. So next thing is, a lot of people use AI for their research purpose and writing up things. But this is one AI that is zero GPT. Anything you enter in Chat GPT and you use it for your research purpose, you enter it into zero GPT, it will tell you that you have used AI. So this will detect whether your work is done by AI or not and what percentage. So whatever work you have done using AI, you put it in zero GPT, it will tell you that this much amount of AI has been used and AI has been used in your work. So most of the journals, sometimes they won't accept. So what about presentations? So you can go to this free AI, which is Napkin AI. So some of my slides use this Napkin AI. So it's free to use again. So here I write, make a slide on LASIK counseling. And this Napkin AI not just gives me a slide, it gives me a whole presentation on, LASIK counseling. Obviously, you need to go verify it, but here AI can help in reducing your work. So this is all text, but once you click on this symbol, it will give you the whole, PPT diagrams, everything, how you want your PowerPoint to look a little more better. So AI incorporated EMR also in a big way. Now there is a EMR which has come, which is AI in it. So whatever you talk to the patient is recorded and everything is classified to anterior and posterior segment. So these are some of the advantages of AI. It's faster, cheaper, scalable. It's portable too. You can download it into your computer and use it without the internet. There's sometimes it can replace when there's a doctor shortage to go to the peripheral center. So AI does not need rest and does not get bored. So what are the challenges? So we fear that AI, will completely replace replacing the human workers. So there's also concern of data privacy. When you feed images or patient data into the AI, then there's an issue of privacy there. Then there's something called as black box phenomenon. Sometimes we don't know how the AI is generating, the images or coming to a conclusion when you feed in data into the AI. Also, if the image quality is poor, then again the AI will not give a correct diagnosis. And also accessibility. So in our country, similarly, AI, it's not very accessible to some of our single centers. And also there are regulatory gaps in AI, specifically concerning the privacy. So AI is an effective supplement for doctors, not a substitute. And especially when it comes to research, it's always better not to try to cheat with AI. So thank you for your attention. Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Shishir, for an extensive into the world of AI. So now all of us are more and more scared about getting replaced by AI. But now that he has told that it is going to be inevitable, all of us will learn AI and we will make sure that we. Hello? Check, check. Okay, after AI, from the world of AI, we come back to the real world. We are going to go back to smartphones in ophthalmology. Uh, how smart ophthalmologists use apps.
So good afternoon to one and all present here. From the high end of artificial intelligence, we'll come back to our normal smartphones. So what are the apps we can use to become a smart ophthalmologist? So these are my financial interests. So ophthalmology apps include so many categories. It is just not just an app. It starts from patient testing to ophthalmological calculators, patient education apps, ophthalmologist education app, ophthalmologist reference app, EMR apps, and to even learn capsular access using your smartphone. So these are the apps which I have mentioned about. So we'll start with the history taking. This is one old one. Now we have a larger platform of ChatGPT, Gemini, but then this was specifically for ophthalmology. So next is patient testing. They have innumerable number of patient testing app, but I would recommend an all-rounder app, which is iHandbook, which is compatible with both iPhone and Android, and it has from the discussion forums, medical calculators, testing, medical coding, even an iAtlas. I would recommend using testing and iCalculator because it has everything from starting from the Amsler grid, vision chart, near vision chart, contrast sensitivity, even the color vision. Even for the color vision, there was even a PubMed article which has compared the sensitivity of that, in which there is a little different sensitivity, but it can be used. So it also has a watch for dot test, but it requires a red-green goggles. And next is the doctor calculation. It has innumerable apps in which I would like to discuss about a few things, which is a visual acuity converter. When we see any publications which is not from India, we always have this visual acuity converter, which we can use and understand what is actually happening with the vision there. And the transposition, when we look for this refractive glass prescriptions, we can use this when we give the glass prescriptions. Next is for the cataract surgeons, SIA calculator to make our cataract surgeries better. Next is for the glaucoma specialist to look into the glaucoma risk. So there are even several apps for visual acuity. In this, iChart Pro, which is a tablet, which has tablet as a display and phone as a remote control. So this is the most easier app to use, which is the portable eye examination kit, which can be used even for illiterate because it has e-chart, and for the contrast sensitivity is also available with this. Next will be the cataract grading app, which has all this. LOCS also has a separate app which you can use in your OPD in just you don't have to go back and refer your book. You can just have it in your phone. Next one is visual fields. This is easily seen using an iPad. So even for the OCT, you can feed in the OCT series of files into this app. It will give each and every layer, whether it's normal, abnormal, what is the diagnosis based on the series of images we have fed into it. It is free for Apple users. So next is the most important you can recommend for your patients, especially for the glaucoma patients, that is medical compellence eye drops. That is, this My Eye Drop is one app which was developed by Singapore National Center, which targets especially the glaucoma patients and their caregivers. Next is Eye Drops app, which has medication. When the glaucoma patients have multiple medicines, you can select the medicine, time of input, photo display of the sample medicine, and the refill alerts also. So next is again a glaucoma app for medical complaints. Next is the IOL calculators, which most of us will be aware of. These are the few IOL calculator app which is helpful. Next is IOL Vision Simulator. These list of apps are endless. So next is apps for low vision patients. So previously, maybe a decade back, it was difficult for the patients who have low vision. Now, smartphone has become a boom for them because it's affordable, accessible, available, and portable. So they also have different type of apps, each and everything, like starting from accessibility app, voice assistant, which will like normal OK Google or Siri. Next, from the accessibility app, ranging from the simple calculator to an advanced talking scientific calculator. Next is why can't they have fun? So they also have blind accessible games like blind mini games and blind cricket. Next is camera based, especially for students. They can use microscope seeing AI app or Google Lookout. So this is the few navigation app which they can use for their practical purposes. And these are the camera magnifier app. You can see all these apps and we can see which is needed for us, and I will download it accordingly and use. So next is a book reader. Talking book is the most common one, and we can use this audible books also. So these are the apps which is accessible in India, very commonly used. One is Roshni app, which identify the Indian currencies for the visually impaired people, and Dignify app, which reads the text from the camera in Hindi and English. These are the most important one, which is assistive technology. Be My Eyes is a app which we get calls from the blind people through the app. We can guide them what to do based on the identification and the details they inform us. Next is the Iris Vision. It is a smartphone in visual reality headset for macular degeneration, retinitis pigmentosa, and for the glaucoma patient. Next is the voice, most important. It converts the live video into a soundscape for the blind people. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Anju, for that extensive intro into the smartphone apps for smart ophthalmologists. So all of you, when you get back, you will all start using these smart apps and become smart ophthalmologists in this smart era. Over to you, Dr. Prithvi. Discussion.
Any questions or discussion points that anybody has to share?
Concrete, sir. So 3D printing, you can do it with any material and based on the 3D printer use. So there is a concrete printing 3D printer into which you will just feed in the concrete and the 3D design, and this will just 3D print it will take time. So 3D printing is not a quick process. It will take time. It will print the concrete, print the concrete, print the concrete. The whole wall, yes, sir. Yes, sir. They print it in place also. If you Yes, sir, they bring the printer and say, okay, this is the plot of land which I have, please print a house here according to the 3D model which I have done here. You can put your augmented reality glasses and 3D model also before you print the house. Then you click print and then wait.
And what about your fundas, that optic, this thing, from where we can get it?
So I am still in the process of making it commercially available. I try to go
Since
through
last
the
1 year you are in that process.
Yeah, so I try to go through the regulatory processes. That is a very long and arduous path. So it is very difficult to put it through the regulatory process. That is where I'm stuck. So I'll get it out very soon. Regulatory process is where I'm stuck. Anybody else want to start smartphone ophthalmology, 3D printing, AI?
These LAPSE are paid or?
99.9% of the apps are free. Any particular app that you want to, any particular use case that you want to do, visual acuity. Peak Acuity is a free app for visual acuity. Eye Handbook is one overall best app which you can use, which has everything. If you want the vision chart, iPad, so anything which has iPhone, iPad, that is paid. Android is free. I'm not a fan of iPhone, that's why.
Thank you, sir.
3D printing, anybody wants to start Monday morning? Who is going to 3D print something? Okay, ma'am is going to 3D print. She just raised her hand, but she did this. ASP is available.
The 3D printed ASPE is available, ma'am. Yeah. You can just contact me.
Yeah, Dr. Prithvi will be the person for ASPE, 3D printed ASPE available. Fundascope not yet available. It will come soon.
Cost is around 2,000 rupees.
Including the IOL.
Yeah, including the
AI, which AI are you going to use when you go home? Which AI are you using, ma'am? AI. ChatGPT. Perplexity. Canva. Copilot. Microsoft fan here. Others? Which AI are you using? ChatGPT. Nobody is using Grok. Shishir is using all the AIs. All the AIs, no? All the AIs. Which AI are you using?
Yeah, so regarding ChatGPT, if you want something creativity, something, then ChatGPT is the best. But if you want something for research, writing, everything, then Notebook LM, or even there is one by Claude. Claude is really good for research grants, proposals, those writing up your paper or things like that, because it has the least amount of, it is lesser hallucinations as compared to ChatGPT. And but if you want something creative, you go to ChatGPT. If you want little more extra, you ask. If you want to know what research to do, you ask ChatGPT. ChatGPT will give you an idea for the research. But then if you want how the research should progress, you go to Claude, and then you go to Claude and ask how this research should be set up. What are the parameters? What is the methodology? Claude will give you a better idea as compared to ChatGPT. So two AIs using for writing up papers and research is much better than using only ChatGPT, because sometimes it's very easy to detect ChatGPT, and it will keep you giving the repetitive results. So that is the issue with ChatGPT. So two different AIs is better. If you want to use all AIs together, then there is a website called AI Fiesta. It has all AIs together, 6,000 rupees per year. It will give you everything: Chat, GPT, Grok, Perplexity, Claude, and everything. Nano, Banana, everything. Even images you can generate, three different images. AI Fiesta.
Any more questions? Used Gemini AI to update an old class photograph, improve the resolution, upscale it, and make a video of it also. So now that is also possible.
If there's no other discussion, the next team can take over. Thank you.